How about this? The NL East in the new division format was invented in the Atlanta Braves, city of Atlanta, where they won the first, 77, James?
No.
Yeah.
11,
No,
10,
they
8,
didn't.
9?
Obviously not, John.
95.
77?
What did they win? 90,
I wasn't
won
paying attention
from
back in the
95 to like
1800s.
06 or
Yeah,
05? 05.
They've won like more than half of them
Guess
in
who
my lifetime.
Guess
which
who
is
didn't
insane.
win it this year?
You're damn right, buddy.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves, freaking little Mets, the Nationals,
Frickin' little.
the Marlins.
The Mets are playing pretty good baseball.
They are. The Phillies could see one or both of those teams in the postseason. All right, let's get
Phillies
to it.
are playing pretty good
We
baseball.
want to hear from you, 215-592-9494. I mean, it was quite a thing. Let's actually just listen to how it went down last night when the Phillies won. Then we'll take your calls. Here's the final out. We'll play both versions as we move through the show, but here's the radio version. Scott Fransky on the call here last night on WIP.
Swung on, hit in the air, deep right center field. On the run, Castellanos, he is there. He's got it. And the Phillies close out the National League East. They are the champions of 2024. They come running out of the dugout and meet at the mound around Carlos Estevez. As for the 12th time in team history, the Phillies have won the National League East, and they've done it for the first time in 13 years.
Look, it's a great thing. I mean, obviously, like I said, you could see a while ago this was going to happen this year, but it hadn't happened in so long, and it's great. I mean, look, we'll take your reaction. It was quite a celebration last night. We'll get to a lot of that audio. Matter of fact, let's get right to Rob Thompson, because it's Rob Thompson with a major assist from Phillies owner John Middleton. Listen to this shortly after the Phils won last night.
When we entered the playoffs, they said it was very difficult to get here. And to win a division is even more difficult. So congratulations on that. We still got some work to do, though. Okay? We still got some work to do. We want to get that by. That's very important to us. I want you guys to party tonight. But be ready to come here and play tomorrow. Now, last thing. I brought John in here. John, come on over here. Remember in spring training, the man said he wants his trophy. We're going to get it.
So that, and I'm sure a lot of people saw it live, but that is John Middleton dropping a big old F-bomb in there.
And putting the stakes right out there.
Putting it out there, and the guy's going wild. John, your reaction, my man. And again, everyone, 215-592-9494. Phil's the one in the NL East. John, your thoughts.
All right, it was so awesome to watch. Yesterday heading into it, we were talking, hey, we want the Phillies to act like they've been there before, have some dignity, en route to celebration. I sat there and I watched 2 hours of those guys dousing themselves in the locker room. It looked like there was a foot of just beer and champagne and everything
else.
Rug.
Gonna need a new rug.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
They know how to tie one on. They know how to celebrate. They know how to make the most of it. And more power to them. Good for them. I went into it thinking, hey, look like you've been there before. I came out of it thinking they deserve every second of this, and they understand how to get to where they want to go. Like, this is the third year that they are getting through this process, and they've honed it. They have honed, and they've attempted to master this. I believe the Phillies know how to navigate this better than they have the last couple of years. And you saw them yesterday, celebrational. I think some guys might be a little hungover today for, obvious reasons. But you heard Topper say it himself. The bye is their goal. Like, that first round bye matters.
Well, they're going to get that. I do wonder if they went a little too hard last night for the purpose of home field advantage. They're half a game behind the Dodgers. There's 5 games left. I don't think we expect JT to play today.
They know how to handle it. I trust that they know how to handle it, and I trust that these guys are pros. And last night, by the way, while I'm watching 2 hours of those guys in there dousing themselves, I'm also seeing cuts to the field, and I'm seeing those same players out on the field with their wives, with their young children, celebrating in a quiet, husband, fatherly way also, like the mature way.
Yeah.
You kind of saw that duality last night.
I
know
agree.
that these guys can buckle down just like they were, good fathers last night. They can buckle down and be good, focused, studying baseball players this time of year. They know they have to be. And you heard to a man last night, they all said, we know we got to play our best baseball. We know this. We know we got to elevate our level of play to have a chance now this time of year. They understand the stakes. They know if they play their best baseball, they can win a World Series. There's a long time between now and then. But this team knows how to make this journey better than they have the last couple of years. I'm confident in that, which gives me a lot of confidence in the end. The possible end result here.
Well, we'll take your calls on the Phils, and just from a viewing standpoint last night, what stood out to you? I mean, again, the whole season's been quite a journey. It's one of the great seasons the Phillies have obviously ever had. 215-592-9494. And it's a great feeling as a Phillies fan, seeing our club win the division, knowing that it's one of the best teams in baseball, knowing that, there's really only been until this era, there's really actually only been 2 eras in the close to 140-year history of the franchise. And this is an amazing fact, but it's a fact. It's not an opinion. There's only been 2 eras of greatness in Phillies history, which is astounding when you consider how long they've been around. I mean, you had the late 70s up until 83, and then obviously you had 2007 through 2011. That's it. I mean, 93 was a standalone, 50 was a standalone, 15 was a standalone. So what they did 2 years ago in breaking through to make the playoffs, the run obviously they gave us that October, getting to Game 6 of the World Series, getting back last year, pretty deep, not as deep as we wanted, but pretty deep. And now for the 3rd straight year, making the playoffs again, and in this case, winning the division, they've really stamped this era as an era that is Phillies baseball. And again, only the 3rd time in their entire history. And to me, it's a great feeling to know we're living in it. Matter of fact, some people that are 50 and up have lived through the only 3 that, have seen when the Phillies have been great and actually sustain it. So it's a great feeling as a Phillies fan. And as John pointed out at 215-592-9494, you can certainly comment today on the fact that we know there is a legitimate chance the Phillies can, in fact, win the World Series. I mean, in 6 weeks, they can win the World Series. They've got a real shot. James, your thoughts on the whole shebang?
Yeah, look, we asked them to come into this year and start hot. We asked them to win the division this year, to take that next step. Yeah. And I know they're still fighting for the 1 seed, but they did that. Like, they came in this year and they've accomplished something that they had not yet done. And I think that's an exciting thing heading into the playoffs. Because to John's point, like, these guys, yes, it's flamed out the last 2 years in the playoffs, but they have had big-time reps in these spots. They've been there. They know what it feels like to be in these moments. I do think that will help them moving forward. So, like, the whole world's in front of them. Like, they have literally as good a chance as anyone playing to win the World Series. They're not the plucky underdog anymore. This is not like what a run. Like, they're one of the big dogs going into the playoffs with a chance to win. It's super exciting, man.
Yeah, and look, they're going to get the bye. Now, whether they get the 1 seed obviously remains to be determined, but they're 3.5 up on Milwaukee, which is really 4.5 up because of the tiebreaker factor. There's only 5 games left. They're going to get the bye. That's clear. They have great starting pitching. I'll tell you this, last night with Nola, and I wasn't wavering. I know many had. I stamped Nola as the number 2. I mean, I know Sanchez has been great in 2 different extended pockets of the season. The first, whatever it was, 2.5, 3 months, and then like the last month and a half or 2. I totally get it. He obviously had a little bit of a rocky stretch there about 2.5 months ago, but otherwise has been exceptional. Everything else. But the bottom line is, as great as he's been, I've seen Nola in the postseason deliver. I saw him again deliver last night, and I would trust that guy in a game 2, which, by the way, in a best of 5 in the first round, in all likelihood, swings back around to being your game 5 starter if you need one. So that's a big decision they got to make. Obviously, there's another decision: who pitches game 3. It'll probably be Sanchez at this point, but we'll see. Rhea, your thoughts on the Phils winning the division? Hold on one second. We got to get a microphone. Microphone's not on in there. We'll get that determined. Maybe it might be one button out of line. But look, the Phillies have clinched the division. And it's the first time since 2011 they got that done. So it's a reality that doesn't happen often. We're excited it happened. We'll take your calls. 215-592-9494. Joe DeCamera, John Ritchie. It's an NL East champion Phillies squad. Your thoughts. We'll get into the Eagles as well. We had an interesting poll result yesterday I want to start the Eagles conversation today on our show about how people voted in a poll yesterday related to the whole team. That and more, your phone calls. Joe DeCamera, John Ritchie, off and rolling on 94 WIP.